Hello, it's Ashley here from Paper and Twine, and welcome to my channel. Welcome everybody. A couple of days ago I launched Paper and Twine's tag club, PT tag club, hashtag PT tag club, and I showed a little album that I have made to store my tags in. I'm planning to pull a prompt on the 10th of every month, and in the first instance, I've got enough pages for 12 tags. Now, the tag that I'm using, and please follow the principle of this and do any size that you want to, but this is just an ordinary luggage tag that you can pick up in any shop, Poundland, B&M, Wilko's. I think mine are from Smith's. This one happens to be 5.5 centimetres by 11 centimetres, and I don't know how many of these I've got in my stash, but this is what I'm using as my basis for my tag when I decorate my tag. If you want to make yours bigger, please go ahead and do so, but I've made my album with this dimension in mind, and if I run out of these tags, I shall just use this as a template. And in fact, what I might do is just cut a couple you know, the same, or, you know, depending on what the prompt is that I pull out every month, I might make a slightly bigger tag. I don't know. You saw me in the previous video make my little prompt pot out of an old container, and I think actually next time I run out, I'm going to do another one of these for my strips, because the jar that I've got them in is bulging. It's too narrow. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do another one, but all my little prompts are safe in here. If you want to suggest any more prompts, or if you haven't seen the previous video, I'll leave that linked down below. I'll leave my email linked down below in case you want to join in or have any questions. You don't need to send me anything. If you join in, just use the hashtag PT Tag Club and share on social media if you want to. It would be a nice thing to do. So my album, I've made a certain dimension to fit the tag, and my background pages I've decorated using, I did some sheets of A4 heavy duty white cardstock, and I spritzed them with Lindy's Magicals in opal sea oats, and it gives a really, I don't know whether the camera's picking it up, gives a really nice glittery, fine glittery sheen. And then I went in with one of my favourite Tim Holtz stencils in antique linen to give kind of like an aged look. And then I went in with my stamp collection, a little bit of script, also in scattered straw, and then this stamp, which I absolutely love, just little portions of it in tea dye. Went round the edge of everything in vintage photo and slapped it on. And as I said, I will decide whether I'm going to you know, how I'm going to affix each tag onto each page, depending on what the prompt is and how dimensional the tag is. So that there might be like a tuck spot. You know, I'll use scraps of card in my stash to decorate that. And I've just used a little bit of Tim Holtz ephemera here and made myself a little label out of scraps. PT Tag Club Mini Album 2022. And there's nothing to keep it closed. I mean, it'll sit on my shelf with my other little albums that I've got. Yeah, so let's get to how I've made mine, and I'm making one to the same dimensions. So I've used Amazon packaging, and I apologise, I'm using a mixture of imperial and metric measurements. So my covers, I've cut two that are 6 3/8 by roughly 4. In centimetres, that's roughly 10 by 16. My spine is 10 by roughly 4 centimetres. And because it's corrugated card and you get a rough edge, I'm using this construction tape to cover the edges. And I think what I'll do, I'll just put you on fast forward for this little bit. So you can see it didn't take me very long to do that at all, and I'm just putting a little bit of extra tape around certain parts of this because just in case when I come to mat and layer I make a mess. I guess if you haven't got this black tape you could use masking tape. I don't know whether this tape comes in other colours or not, but it's very forgiving and very thin, so it doesn't add a lot of bulk to the project, as it were. Missed a little bit there, but I think that'll be all right, I think. And if you get a little ruckle in it, it smooths out really easily. And then I'm going to actually use the tape to join my 3 pieces together, and what this means is you get a very flexible album. Just put a little bit here, I think. Yeah, you get a very flexible album, and you use less paper than if you were to lay your 2 covers and spine out and, you know, lay them onto a piece of patterned paper. You use slightly less paper, and it means that if you've got 6x6 pads you like, you can use those. If you've got 8x8 pads you like, you can use those, rather than having to go to a 12x12. There we go, that's enough on that. And then this one here. And if you wanted to tie it up with ribbon or twine of some sort, you could stick that in place before you stick your cover paper on. So, you know, when you finish this process, you could do that. I don't know why I did that like that then. I could have saved a bit of time by just wrapping it over, but I'm just doing this in case I make a mess of matting and layering, and, you know, I don't want the packaging to show through. But it just shows you what you can actually do with packaging. And if you use collal glue to stick your paper down with, I think I can do, if you use collal to stick your paper down, it actually reinforces that card and makes it like concrete. Now what I like to do, I lay out a big piece of tape like this, and I put my spine, let's put this so it's flat, and use the lines on your mat, if you have one, to line up straight, roughly. So I've put my spine in, and then I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch. I'm just lining up the top and bottom as best I can. Actually, because I've used a bit more tape on the spine than I have the cover, it is slightly bigger. But, you know, this is a handmade thing. It doesn't, you know, it's not going to look like a factory-made, shop-bought album. And then I'm just running the tape along so that, you know, I've got plenty of tape and it's not going to come undone. And you can see just how easy that is, how that bends. So we'll do the same with the other bits, and then we've got the fun bit of decorating it. Now, if you didn't want to go to all the faff of covering the edges of your card with this construction tape and you know, doing this, you could use 12 by 12 paper by all means. And I worked out that if you had some 12 by 12 paper, if you cut it to 8.5 inches by 12, you should have enough paper to give you a nice border around, and you can use Woollysteph's album tutorial. I'll leave that down below, linked down below, so you can see how she did her how she covered her mini album for her art club journal. And you'll obviously then need to mat and layer inside as well. There we go, that is that done. So now we've got the fun part of covering with paper. And I'm going to cheat a little bit, and this is going to be one of my design team projects for Cheryl Simone Crafts, because I am going to use, just move that out of the way, and I don't need that or that anymore. Might need that to refer to. I'm going to use this lovely paper, which is called More Pink Flowers Please, from the Painted Floral collection by Prima Marketing. And on that side it's that. So that's rather lovely, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure these panels to see how big I need to cut my paper to. So that is 6 1/4. So I can either cut to 6 1/8 to give me a little thin border around, or 6, which will give me a wider border. I think we might go 6 by 4. So I'm going to cut 2 panels 6 by 3 3/4. Bear with. So that is about 6. The funny thing about my big paper trimmer, it it doesn't mark 6 very well. Now, because this is going to be my front, I'm going to cut from this side, I think. And so I want that to be 3 3/4. And how big do I need my spine to be? My spine is 1 3/4. So I need my spine to be 1 1/2. So this is my front. So we said 3 3/4. And I'm going to then cut 1 1/2 for the spine. And then another piece that is 3 3/4. And then my paper will run continuously, which will give me a really nice look on my album. The last piece, 3 3/4. and I'm going to ink round the edge with just some brown ink, just to take that white core off, because that will show up against the black tape. And as I say, if you didn't want to go to the faff of what I've just done, cut your pieces accordingly, and then you can lay them on your paper. You can see a 12 by 12 will give you an overhang, and if you cut it to, as I say, about 8.5, you'll get a nice what's the word I'm looking for, border. That's the word I'm looking for. Yes. Let's just ink these up, and then I need to make sure I've got them in the right order to glue them. Oh, this foam pad I use all the time. Look at all the ink on there, and it's coming off its thing. The actual foam bit is coming off the Velcro bit because I've used it so much, and it keeps falling off, but we'll persevere. I'm just lightly inking around the edges here, but I'll leave Cheryl linked down below as well, and you can buy these papers from her online store. I did do a DT unboxing a few videos back, and there's a link to the products that she sent me there. So there's my spine. We'll make sure our text is the right way up, and that goes there, and that goes there. You don't need to see me glue. I'll do that and come back to you. So I took the opportunity to glue the inside as well, using the same measurements, and I used the reverse of the paper. I think on the inside, because that's where all your interest is going to be, you want something a bit neutral. And this is what I've got left out of a sheet of 12 by 12. Whereas I think if you do the other method of laying your cover and spine down and using a sheet of 12 by 12, you're going to need a sheet and a half of 12 by 12 really to do your inside as well as your front. So yeah, but you choose whatever method you prefer. Those little bits will be being saved to be used for something else, and I'm going to show you how I make the insides. So this was I think it's a yeah, it was a 20 centimeter card blank, so it was 40 by 20, and I've cut it to 32 centimeters, and the pages for my tag album are 14 centimeters tall by 8 centimeters wide. Now I can't cut this on my trimmer, so what I'm going to do, because it's too long, I'm going to score at 16. Is that right? Yes, I'm going to score at 16 and fold it in half, and then cut this in my trimmer to 14 centimeters. Is that right? Yes, I'm going to cut it to 14 centimeters, and I will need 2 of these. So again, 14 doesn't show up very well on my trimmer, so I'm just going to make sure it is actually 20 centimeters and then cut 6 off, and that will leave me with 14, which is a bit of a schmidge. And I'm going through 2 layers of card. Just bear with a momento. There we go. So that has given me the right height, and I need to just come in now and score at every 8 centimeters because we're doing an accordion fold. So 5, 6, 7, 8. I've already got 16 marked. And because I'm not very good at maths, I'm going to turn it the other way and do 5, 6, 7, 8. 24 it would have been, wouldn't it? 24. There we go. And I need another piece like this, so I'll come back when I've done that. So I've gone ahead and done that, and now I'm going to carefully, hopefully more carefully than I did in the one that I made for myself, fold and burnish these score lines, but in an accordion style. So I'm going back and forth, so I get that. I'll do the same with this one. It's lining up. Go back on that one, and then back on this one. And then I'm going to put glue. I'm going to put some collal on here. And join the two pieces together. Whoops, nearly run out in there, so it's fallen over because it's quite light. And I'm just going to line up as neatly as I can, top and bottom and the side, and just make sure that that is all lined up. And hopefully I've got enough panels. If you wanted to do more than 12, you could obviously just repeat this process with as many pieces as you want. And obviously, you know, I've shown the dimension of tag that I'm going to be using in my album, but you do what you see fit. And then I'm just going to put some collal on this piece here and glue it. Let's make sure we've got that. Oh, it's a good job I checked because it was upside down. That's my front cover with Paris on. And so this is the right way. Oh, we nearly had a disaster there, folks. I've had a few disasters recently. And we're just going to glue this centrally to the back panel. Obviously, if you'd wanted to use some ribbon or twine to create a tie closure, you would have added that before you've put your paper on. And I'm not going to put any backing paper on these at the moment, because I'm going to give this one away in a minute. Yeah, I'm going to give this one away, and I'm just going to look through my design team package again. I'm going to look at the ephemera and the journaling cards to see if there's anything that we can stick on the inside that is motivational. So anybody who comments on this video, I will enter into a little giveaway to win this, and I'll post it anywhere. I'll post it internationally. You can make a difference every day. What should we have? It's got to be one that's decisions determine destiny. That's quite nice. We could cut that down, couldn't we? Let's cut that down because it kind of fits in with the front a little bit. We could mat it on a bit of black. I've got some black left over from our thingy here. It might not be big enough actually. I love how actually you've got a little torn edge there. I never noticed this when I did a flick through before, and a little bit of tape. I'm just going to trim it down. I'm just eyeballing to give a little border all the way around. Like so. And I don't think that's going to be narrow enough. No, it's not. So I'm going to cut it more aggressively around the sides, and then I might cut a little bit more off the bottom. Or actually, I'll cut a little bit more off the top, like so. Let's see what that is like now. That's okay, isn't it? And actually, because I don't want that to be any wider, I think what I might do, now I will, bear with, I'm going to just do a little smidge off the side again, because do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mat this on black so it's a bit stronger, and I'm going to make it into a little pocket down the bottom like that. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? Does it fit on there? No. Need another piece of black card. This is a bit wider. There we go. We'll stick it on here. Let's measure very quickly. So that's just over 8 centimetres by 8.5. So I want about just under 8.5 by just under 9. And then you could put your own little what do you call it, a little special tag in there, couldn't you, or something? Yes, I quite like that. And then we'll find a little something to put on the front. And those little tiny bits of floral scrap that I've just cut off, I won't be wasting those. Those will be going in my little narrow scrap pot. Let's just stick that there like that. You can just see how my little creative processes work. I don't always have a plan. I make it up as I go along. I've got a lovely cup of tea here that Mr. Paper&Twine's just made me. And I'm gasping, spitting feathers, as they say. That's the top. I don't want to glue that, so I'm going to run a little thin bead of glue down that side, down the bottom, and down that side. And we're going to stick that roughly centrally like so. So you've got a little pocket. I don't think it'll fit this tag in. Oh, it does. So what you could do is you could have a little tag and you could keep a note of what prompts have been pulled. I'll put that in there for the recipient actually, and then I'll let the recipient decorate these pages as they see fit. And we'll just put a little something on the front. Let's see if there is something here. So anybody who comments, I will what's the word I'm looking for? Put into a little draw to win this, if you want to. Should we just say, please enter me if you want it? No, because some people just, yeah. Anybody who makes any comment, I'll send, and you know, I'll put you into a little draw to win this, just to show my gratitude. Because I don't need 2 albums, do I? That's a bit big. Now the beautiful I want to use for something else. About that, and I could write hashtag PT Tag Club on there. That's what I'm going to do with my little handwriting pen. Hashtag PT Tag Club 2022. And if you don't want to use this for tag club, you can cover that bit up with something else that you stick on. I'll use a bit of collal to stick that on there, and that is it. It's as simple as that. So don't forget, if you want to be involved, just, you know, put hashtag PT Tag Club on anything that you share on social media. If you make something, no obligation to join in whatsoever. You don't have to send me anything. And, you know, you don't have to join in every prompt, just as and when you want to. Aren't those papers from Prima that Cheryl sent me absolutely stunning? I'm going to move that up a little bit there like that, and you can just see Paris. There we go. It's not perfect, it's handmade, but made with love. And if you want to join in and you want to contribute to some ideas for the prompts, as I say, I've got the prompts in my prompt pot. just, you know, comment down below or on the other video, or email me and I'll add them to my prompt pot. That's it. I'm going now. Oh, you've had a lot of me this week. I do apologise. I'll give it a rest for a little while. I think the next time I'll be back will be perhaps with any potential entries I've got to my challenge, and Hilary from Pink Bubble Cards alphabet challenge. Take care, everybody. Do give a thumbs up, remember. Take care. I'll be back soon. Bye now.